Alright, so today we're going to take a look at a couple of concepts when we're dealing with investment, dealing with interest. Obviously we want to make interest because that's how we make money on our investments. Putting our money into our mattress does not earn us any interest. So if you have $100, you shove it into your mattress, when you pull it out again, you still have $100 if your kids haven't found it or a mouse hasn't eaten it. So what we want to do is find ways to earn money on our money, and to do that you need to earn what's called interest. So we're going to look at two different kinds of interest today. We're going to look first at simple interest, and then we're going to look at compound interest, which is something that we'll focus on more in future lessons. First, at simple interest, when we look at that, it's just basically defined as interest that is paid only on the original principal of an investment. So you don't get extra interest on your interest, you only get interest on the original amount you put into an investment. So to calculate interest, you use the following formula for simple interest. It's called interest will equal your principal, which is the amount of money that you originally invest, times the rate, which is an interest rate that you earn on the money, times the amount of time that's in there. Or simplified, as you can see down there, I equals P times R times T. So we'll give you this quick example here. If you invest $100 at 8% for 3 years, let's plug in those numbers. So you see there you have $100, you have it at 8%, which is indicated by the 0.08, and then 3 years investment. So to calculate this out, what we would do is multiply those together, and we would find that we would earn a total of $24 interest. And what that means then is the total value of your investment will be the original principal amount, 100, plus the $24. And so after 3 years, you'll have $124 as an investment. Okay? So that's how you earn interest on simple interest. Now here's where the really fun stuff starts. We start talking about compound interest, and this is where you really make your money. Okay, simple interest, it only gives you interest on your principal. Compound interest, however, as you'll see by the definition here, is interest that's calculated both on the principal, in other words the original amount of money that you put into an investment, and then also on the interest that builds up over time. So what this causes is exponential growth. We're going to look more closely at compound interest. I'm going to have you do an online calculator that actually shows the growth over time of investments using compound interest. But here's a formula that we can use to understand this better. To calculate, we're going to use this formula. In this one, it's going to find us the final amount of our investment, which includes the principal, because remember we had to put money in at first to get the investment. So you have your principal plus interest is what you're going to end up with at the end. And so the final amount is going to equal your principal, the amount that you put in, times then 1 plus the interest rate, whatever that rate may be, and that's to the exponent of however long it's in there. So here's the formula written out in simpler terms. M, the final amount, will equal the principal times then 1 plus the interest to the power of however long it stays in there. So here's an example for dollars at 7% for 10 years. Here's how that formula would look then. We've got M equals $1,000, the amount of our principal, times 1 plus the rate, 7%, and because it's 10 years, it's taken to the 10th power. So using your order of operations, you're going to come up with a total here equal out to $1,967.15. So it will have almost doubled in that 10 years time. If you had only used simple interest, if we use that same exact example and only use simple interest, remember, that's just interest times rate times time. Now we're not getting an exponent here. It's just the actual number 10 instead of an exponent. So what that will give you then is your interest is going to come out to $700, which means your total value, principal plus interest, would be $1,000 plus 700 which would then give you your total of $1,700. So in those 10 years, instead of $1,700 using compound interest, you pick up an extra $267. So that's a nice chunk of money. And as you invest more and through more time, you're going to find compound interest, time is your friend. You're young, and so now using compound interest to your advantage, you'll be able to make your investments pay off over the course of time.